Welcome to the Score Bet, where betting on game day is made easier with all the promos and player props you need in a seamless and easy-to-use experience. Whether it's home runs, three-pointers, or shots on goal, there's no better place to own the moment. Right now, new players can get their first bet insured up to $1,000 in bonus bets. More action, more rewards, more for you. The Score Bet. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Introducing Celsius Electric Vibe, a limited-time drop from the Celsius Vibe line. Get a kick of tropical fruit flavors that spark the senses, featuring bright pineapple, vibrant orange, bold cherry, and smooth grape notes. It's a crowd favorite that keeps the energy high from kickoff to the final whistle. Made with zero sugar, this smooth tropical freeze flavor brings intensity to every match, whether you're watching the game or hitting the pitch. Celsius Electric Vibe. Energy for every goal. Try this limited edition flavor today while supplies last and enjoy the game.
WTL.
It's time!
WTL.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm here. And D. Klassen, joined by
The J.O.
The J.O. And we have so many things going on right here, now in the great state of Nebraska. Softball, baseball's on fire. Football's picking up some steam, I hear.
We got some good recruits coming our way.
Big-time recruits. We're attempting to win the offseason once again, but you know, you got USC out there making waves, Alabama like always, Georgia, you know, the usual suspects.
Would you say the offseason is your favorite time of year as a Husker football fan?
You know, I think it's what NBA fans live for now. It's just like, get us to the offseason so we can get into the real stuff, the juicy stuff, right?
Juicy
stuff. And that's kind of the role we've had to take as Nebraska and Big Ten football fans, although we got a couple of natties under our belt now as the Big Ten Conference.
Man, things have really started to come up big red across the board. I'm excited.
Yeah, and for good reason. We also have Zach and Tallon back in the fold. They're going to talk a little bit of the Charles Schwab Challenge PGA Tour event. That golf stuff. People can't get enough golf on YouTube, on X, on Spotify. It's all about the PGA.
Man, does it make you want to go out and golf a little bit?
It does. You want to throw a little salt in the wound? My wife was in a company outing with coworkers, and her team won it. It was a three-man scramble, so congratulations to her and the other fine golfers, we'll say.
Shout out. Congrats.
PHS. Go Blue Devils.
Well, and it's a good thing you had some inside knowledge, and I'm sure you had your future on that and
I
made some money on the action.
Betting heavy. Sure. But we are entering the biggest week of the college football or college softball season. The finale is here later tonight. The Huskers are going to be playing the 5-seed Arkansas Razorback. It's a 4 versus 5 seed matchup. The Nebraska Huskers have a slight advantage if you're looking at the books, but I think a lot of sharps, a lot of smart money, they're looking for that upset. They're going to bet the Razorbacks. You know, we can't lean that way.
No, we can't lean that way. We got to believe in Jordy. Like this is quite the magical run from when she first committed to coming back to Nebraska and to today. I mean, it is something that you expected. Like you thought there was going to be a College World Series appearance.
Right.
Here it is. And they look like they could take it all.
And we're not just letting our fandom get in the way here. It makes sense why the Huskers have the edge. Nebraska just tore through their super regional, completely dominant against Oklahoma State. Plus, they have, you just mentioned it, the ultimate ace up their sleeve in the circle. That is Jordy Fromm. Just named the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year. Not the finalists, not in the top 5. That jargon, those Twitter tweets, X tweets, whatever, those are over with. The finals are in. Jordy Fromm is your Player of the Year. She boasts an ERA of 1.14. She also has 12 saves. That is wild. She's your number 1 starter. She also leads the team in saves, and also she has a propensity to hit the dingers too.
I was
Has a flip
say.
for the, when she's in the box, look out.
She's the female Otani. That's the thing is offensively, she's an absolute nightmare to have to face. So you have her on the mound at all different times of the game, and then you got to face her in the batter's box. I mean, she's just absolutely incredible, and there's no denying she's the big reason why, and her and the Sporting Cast, why they haven't lost in like a month. I mean, these Huskers haven't lost in a month.
Yeah. You have multiple players here receiving Big Ten awards, conference season awards. The list goes on and on. I think we got Big Ten Freshman of the Year, the number 2 starter pitcher. So it's more than just Jordy Fromm, but she's obviously the headliner. And like I said, she is your ace in the hole, obviously within that circle. Let's touch a little bit here on Arkansas. The Razorbacks are a very dangerous underdog, slight underdog. You know, they just ruled their way through 5 straight NCAA tournament games. Now, Nebraska had some closer games there, which sometimes that serves you well, doesn't it, being tested a little bit? But you have to take notice of how Arkansas just blew out the competition through their regional to get to this point.
Yeah, Arkansas they're no joke. There's a reason why they're here in the College World Series. But the difference is going to be this Husker pitching and their defense.
I feel like you have that classic matchup right now where Arkansas, their bats are so hot.
Yes.
I mean, they are just batting out of their minds, hitting dingers left and right, winning by a large amount game in and game out. We just mentioned the 5 straight run rules through the NCAA tournament. That ties a record in itself. But then I go back to, my old baseball adage, great pitching stops great hitting.
Correct. And we've talked about this before with the Husker baseball team, especially when they were going up against Iowa. But when you look at a team like this Arkansas team that does pile on a lot of hits, a lot of offense, they swing a lot.
Yes, they do.
Which means great pitching is going to take advantage of that, and that's going to equal some more strikeouts. So there's going to be opportunities there for Nebraska.
Yeah, that means that Jordy slider, that means that rising fastball that looks like you're just going to tee off on it, and it just gets by you. It's too much. That's going to come into play. Arkansas is going to be swinging the bat. So there's going to be some strikeouts to be had, not just with Jordy, but up and down our pitching staff.
Absolutely. And it's go time now. I mean, we got game 1 tonight.
Hey, we talk big. We talk a big game. We live a big game. Let's look big picture here.
Okay.
Let's look big picture. Futures here on Nebraska to advance all the way to the championship series. They are right behind the number 1 seed, Alabama. Now, that's pretty impressive in its own right because Nebraska's the 4 seed. But this is why I love this type of a show. We go next layer with this thing.
Yes.
Okay, on paper they're the 4 seed, but according to the sports betting world, people that are putting their livelihood, their hard-earned money down on the line, have Nebraska as the 2 seed. Actually, that's why they're the number 2 overall bet here, as far as to make that championship game.
Well, it's always fun to go whenever you have a tournament or a setup like this. It's always fun to go back and look. Say, what did the Sharps say? What did Vegas say?
Yep.
And they always know. I mean, how do they know? They're just dialed in. They are looking at all the analytics, and they've seen how it's going to play out. And they've got house money. That's why that comes from.
I seriously think they a big sentiment is they're looking at the pitching for Nebraska.
Yes.
And what advances in tournaments like this, pitching does. Now, it's a tough side of the bracket here. Nebraska will have to go through number 1 Alabama. They also have the number 8 UCLA seed. When we've seen UCLA, is that the last game Nebraska lost?
That is the last game they lost, yes.
So what an 8 seed hailing from the Big Ten. Of course, UCLA's in the Big Ten.
Of course.
One of the 40 new charter members within the Big Ten. But that in itself is interesting. So the Sharps are saying it's either going to be Alabama or Nebraska out of that side of the bracket is your lock to make that championship series.
Don't you feel like this is going to play to Nebraska's favor to have kind of that tougher side?
Yeah.
Because you just work your way through the tournament, get your wins, against these next level caliber teams.
Yeah.
You get to the championship. I mean, it's Nebraska, right? They're the only ones standing.
Then you got Jordy starting the game. You got her coming back in to finish the game out and get the save. You also have her batting cleanup.
Can she bat leadoff too?
I hope so.
Can we figure that out?
Just keep rotating her. Yeah. I feel like we're selling the rest of the team a little short, which I don't mean to be. It's just that deservedly so. Transferred back, Nebraska own up, Papillion La Vista. Great to have her back. And some of the players she also brought back or helped convince to transfer back for their senior year campaign. Let's get into another. We got a little bit of time here. Let's keep it on this WCWS Women's College World Series. Okay. On the other side, an old familiar name, Jason Williams, made some headlines attending a super regional, cheering on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Did you see this?
Yes. And you know Jason from the NBA. You know him as a Florida Gator. His daughter, plays for Texas Tech, and holy cow.
Yeah.
What a story this is.
Mia Williams is the shutdown pitcher. She transferred out of Florida, went to Texas Tech. Then, of course, in the Super Regionals, that's going to be the matchup.
Has to be.
It sounded like Jason did get kicked out of the game with another fan. It sounded like he might even got punched or something, or a beer got thrown at him.
Got thrown at him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but they let him back into the game. The other fan had to stay out. And then after the game, and also his daughter, she got dinged like 2 or 3 times. Like they
per
hit
game.
Her. Yeah, per game. They were
per
hitting
game.
Her.
Yeah.
Well, and when they didn't, she hit home runs.
Correct.
So, I mean, if you're a Florida Gator, it's like you should have just kept hitting her, I guess.
Yeah, this was a 3-game series.
And crazy.
And she, was getting hit twice a game.
Yeah.
And then, the at-bat she had, she's hitting clutch homers.
Yeah, big time home runs. That just gave more fuel for Jason Williams to stand up and let his presence be known. And then to cap it all off, after the game, the Gators wouldn't even leave their dugout to go shake their hands and say, good game, good game, good game, good game.
Is this the type of rivalry you think that escalates women, softball, like collegiate softball, to the next level? Because this story went viral, and it is definitely very interesting, and we're watching Texas Tech to see if that story continues with Jason Williams at the World Series. I don't know. This could be what takes it to the next level.
I hope it does. I hope it does. And yeah, you got everything here. You got drama. You got a big name, an old NBA star. Like, whoa, what's Jason Williams doing here? Oh, his daughter's striking everybody out here and hitting dingers, right? That would be, how fantastic would it be for Nebraska to square up against Texas Tech? Old Big 8 foes.
Oh, that's the one I want.
You got to love sports because they just write their own storylines. We don't got to do anything here. We just tell you what's happening in this wacky, crazy world of Jason Williams, the number one Texas Tech softball fan out there right now.
Let me give you another angle on this. You're going to have Jason Williams, Texas Tech. You're going to have, at the College World Series, Patrick Mahomes, former Texas Tech guy, coming. Who's sitting in the stands on the Husker side that you've noticed?
Oh, because his girlfriend plays for the Huskers?
Because his girlfriend plays for the Huskers. We may get mini Mahomes and big Mahomes in the same building.
I love this. And they're just both wearing like a number 15 jersey, like doing the Spider-Man. You, me, you, me. Who are we talking about here? Well, you heard the horn. We're up against it, but we're going to take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and we're going to be right back with some PGA Tour talk with Zach and Tallon. But Beto's Trade Club, where emotional trading gambling becomes intelligent, data-driven trading. Use code WTL for 30% off. Start your journey with Beto and experience the power of daily AI-driven sports trading. Visit betotrade.club to get started. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
Welcome to the Score Bet, where betting on game day is made easier with all the promos and player props you need in a seamless and easy-to-use experience. Whether it's home runs, three-pointers, or shots on goal, there's no better place to own the moment. Right now, new players can get their first bet insured up to $1,000 in bonus bets. More action, more rewards, more for you. The Score Bet. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your home holds the story of your life. Renewal by Andersen windows are built to weather every season with you. They frame the little moments.
Look, Daddy.
And the big ones. From first steps to graduation to new beginnings. While life keeps moving, our windows stand strong through every chapter. Let Renewal by Andersen be part of your story. Windows built to last. Visit renewalbyandersenhome.com to learn more.
WTL.
I'm a cop, and you will respect my authority.
No, that's not how you uphold the law.
WTL.
And welcome back to the golf segment of WTL Where's the Line. As always, I'm Zach with my cart partner Tallon. We're talking Charles Schwab Challenge this weekend. Tal, how you feeling?
Feeling good. We're headed back down to Texas. It should be a good tournament. Some of the big names that we're used to, Scheffler, McIlroy, Wyndham Clark pulled out of it. Some of those guys aren't playing this week, but there's still a lot of good names in here. Couple of the world ranking, like 11 through 20, most of those guys are playing this week. So still got a good field, even though we're missing some of those heavy hitters.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Charles Schwab's all over the place right now. You know, you got Charles Schwab Field here in Omaha where they just played the Big Ten tournament and College World Series right around the corner, and they got golf. Seems like they're making a lot of money on people out there if they can just keep sponsoring all these things, right?
Yeah. Charles Schwab will be very busy here in Omaha in, 2-3 weeks? Is that when it starts here? But this week we're talking golf, so let's get out of Omaha, head to Texas, and talk a little PGA.
Yep, and it seems fitting, just finished Golf League, and we're going right into Golf Podcast. I mean, I don't know if you could ask for much more out of this. So it is staying in Texas again this week. I think you kind of saw last week with how they kind of contour some of those greens with false fronts. Big term in golf is Texas wedge. Like when you're off the front of the green on that false front area, if you're looking at it and that chip landing zone is really small, you see a lot of guys kind of pull their putter out and just kind of play that nice lag approach and put themselves up there to, I would say most times, just give themselves kind of a routine par. But you can kind of see the gamesmanship of where they're not really trying to blow that hole up. And they're like, let's just play conservative. Let's take the easy putt, get myself close because I trust that, and then put it in from there. So I think it's kind of interesting to see how those guys kind of take that approach, of whether or not they're really willing to risk it or just kind of take the easy par, move on to the next.
Yeah, you're kind of a Texas wedge guy out there on the course sometimes. You're not afraid to pull out that putter on the fringe and send one to the pin.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, as a mallet guy, I think it's kind of one of the perks that you get out of it. Is you got that little bit of extra weight, so it makes it a little easier. I definitely don't lag it like these guys do. Their ability to go up the front slope there and then just somehow perfectly place it about pin high, just like a foot off to the side, is pretty impressive as somebody who definitely doesn't do that. What are you kind of looking forward to this week, or what do you got your eye on?
One thing I am really excited about, as we kind of talked about, we're doing a golf podcast. There is another golf podcaster playing in this weekend's event. Do you have any idea who I'm talking about?
I do not, but I'm excited to hear it.
It is former 2017 Charles Schwab Challenge champion Kevin Kisner. He's stepping out of the broadcast booth. He's kind of transitioned lately. He's been doing a lot of the broadcasting. He's on the Foreplay podcast over at Barstool. But he is wiping the dust off the clubs and getting back out there this week. I'm a big fan of Kiz, and I'm excited to watch him play. His odds, do you want to take a stab at what his odds to win?
Oh, it's got to be, I would say, over plus 10,000 in my mind.
It is plus 100,000. I will be, just sprinkling like a buck or two on there because, why not?
I think Vegas knows what they got with that. There's definitely, I think you could really see it when he was doing that TGL league. He definitely just doesn't quite have the distance that, some of these young guys have these days. But it's definitely fun, somewhat entertaining. And, honestly, sometimes those old guys can go out and just play old man game. I feel like you see it every year at the Masters with Fred Couples. He goes out he's not hitting bombs, but he's just fairway, green, get it in there type of guy. And sometimes that's just the best play. You're not going to win it doing that, but you also are probably going to make a cut and find yourself just in a happy little middle spot that you're okay with. But it takes a lot to not mess up those shots, to just be conservative and be down the center every time, honestly.
Yeah, as far as getting in the green, sometimes that conservative game can really help you get there, but then you also have to have the skill in the short game and the speed control and putting to sink them, which I think his can do it. So that is my what to watch this weekend down in Fort Worth, is Kevin Kisner, and I'll be excited to watch and see how he does. Hopefully he makes the weekend. I'm just looking for him to get Saturday and Sunday and get a little more change in his pocket.
Well, that'll definitely be an interesting one. Start kind of looking at picks here. Like you said, none of the top names, so it kind of opens the field up. I mean, there are still some big, good names out there, but it's not a clear cut this week. So what are you kind of looking at, top 20, top 10 area?
Yeah, with like you mentioned, when a lot of those big guys are out, I kind of start leaning on the more reliable guys who have been there, done that. It is always fun to kind of take a stab at those long shot guys who haven't got their first career win. This can be a good time to do it. But I'm going to stick with some of the faithful guys who have always done well when I seem to bet on them, and that's Hideki and Keegan Bradley. Those are guys in that kind of top 20, top 15 range that I feel good about putting my money on this weekend. What about you?
Yeah, I think just with the pace of greens, a guy I like for top 20 is J.J. Spawn this week. Pretty consistent putter. I mean, you saw it at the U.S. Open. You know, he handled those greens in what I think are the toughest conditions. I mean, that's usually where you really separate yourself and anybody can kind of win if you're just on. So I definitely like J.J. Spawn for a top 20 this week at a plus 140. Going to go with a big name for kind of the next step up. For top 10, I'm taking Ludwig this week. Obviously, top 10 golfer in the world. He's pretty consistent. I think his game's right where about needs to be. I don't know that he wins this week, but I think he'll be there in the top 10.
I'm with you. He was going to be one of the two names I mentioned for a top 10. The other being Justin Thomas. He's kind of been heating up lately. Seems to be fully back at it after having back surgery this offseason. So you nailed it. Those are my two guys for a top 10 range bet, Ludwig and JT.
And I'm going to double down kind of what you said, but I'm actually taking JT to win this weekend. Texas guy, knows it well, knows the area. I do agree. I think his game's trending. You've been seeing that kind of over the past couple of weeks. I think he's finding the groove he wants, and I think kind of just being back in almost kind of home course conditions, I think he's going to find that sweet spot that he needs to, and I think JT takes it at plus 440 this week for the win.
There you go. I like that. I however, am going to rock with big Rob McIntyre. He's a guy that I feel like's played pretty well this year. He has 1 second place finish, 3 top 5s. So I think he gets over the hump, gets his first win this season, and see how the big Scottish fella can pound it around the course down in Texas.
Absolutely. It should be a good one. Hope everyone enjoys watching this weekend. As always, this has been WTL, Where's the Line?
WTL.
All right, nice, huh? Got a talk show here, talk show with my mic. I got everything.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
The J.O.
The J.O. And how about the boys there talking a little PGA Charles Schwab challenge?
Man, I'm excited. And it's one of those things where golf is trending so highly as far as like this world, the gambling world.
It's coming back.
It really
is coming back.
That's what it is. It's coming back, and it's kind of fun to hear every week their kind of insight and then go and watch, the actual rounds. And they're pretty dialed into it. So
they are so dialed into it. I love how modest they are, where they have to start like every other sentence with, well, my drive wouldn't get there, but no, we get it. You guys aren't on the tour, but great analysis nevertheless. And I also think just as a whole, I think they're getting some juice taking on those guys from the Live Tour. Getting some of those guys back and the drama that's, they're not paying him. He's got a buyout. All those things just add that little umph, that little sizzle to the tour that I think attracts even more eyeballs.
Well, I still maintain that by next season, it's just going to be PGA again.
Yep.
And then it's really going to be, okay, here's the world class versus world class every week again. And this is just an upward trajectory.
I feel it is too. And I'm glad we're on the front end of it. Like we always are. Where's the line?
We seem to always be.
Got that top tier talent. So once again, thank you to Zach and Tallon for dropping that knowledge, sharing that knowledge with us and our audience. They're talking Charles Schwab Challenge. We're talking the road to the Charles Schwab Field. The road to Omaha has begun. And we got to start with, who we're talking about, the Nebraska Huskers hosting a regional. Were you surprised that they got so much flack for hosting a regional? A lot of people looked at it and said, they're not ranked that high, yet they still get to host a regional.
I mean, they literally were in the talk for the last month and a half of regional hosting, being in the top 15. There was a lot of back and forth, sure, with a loss here and there. Mm-hmm. But, man, they were in that conversation from the get. So it really was kind of surprising.
I want to share an interesting stat here that a lot of other teams that are hosting regionals and even more teams that think they should be hosting regionals haven't accomplished.
Perfect.
That is 9 quad wins. Nebraska heavily built its postseason resume by beating top-tier opponents, helping them reach the 11th the 11th overall best national RPI.
There you go.
Now, I know there's holes in the system, and some people will poke at this or that with the RPI, but that's the system we use right now.
Yeah, that's the system. So
yeah. So don't. You're still going to get these SEC people saying, "Oh, yeah, but the SEC plays such a tougher schedule." No, you play each other,
right?
So you're basing it off losing to each other. Okay, so it's the same argument, the same thing you're saying why the Big Ten's weak. You can say, well, that's why the SEC's strong.
Well, that's the thing.
Of course we lost to LSU. They're so good.
Everybody's conference strong, right? SEC's the best conference there is. So even our middle range team's better than your top three. Well,
we're the Big Ten's so top heavy with UCLA. You get to SEC, everybody. It's the whole conference is top heavy. And no, it's not. Nope. Wait. We're going to see some of that here in this regional that we got to get into.
Big Ten, they got something in the water, though, UCLA, Nebraska. It's both softball and baseball. Holy cow.
Yeah, my goodness. Yes. Oh, my goodness. But you got Oregon, USC, UCLA, Nebraska carrying the water here for the Big Ten. And let's zoom in. Let's focus in on our Cornhuskers right here. And first off, we gotta state the obvious. That is the home field advantage is real with Nebraska.
And we're talking a record crowd from every angle, it looks like. So, yeah, that's going to be a difference maker there.
There's a number of reasons to bet heavy on Nebraska in this opening matchup here. Well, first off, we just talked about the home field advantage. They're 15-0. 15-0 in conference play at home. That is unreal. 23-1 overall. That only loss being to Kansas, a really good Kansas team. So you're talking run line, money line. You want to get a little saucy with it. 2.5 runs, Nebraska, do it. Over South Dakota State, do it. South Dakota State, I don't want to, kick them while they're down. They made the tournament. That's great. But I believe their overall record is 24-31.
Correct. Yeah, they're under 500, and this is just one of those deals where you get the automatic bids, right? So
yeah, and Nebraska has 42 wins on the season. 42-15 overall. This marks their team's best record before regional play in a 20-year span. Wow. So this is a historic run here for the Huskers, and I cannot imagine a world where the Jackrabbits, and I like Brookings, South Dakota, get in the way here to start things off.
And you've been to Brookings.
I love Brookings. It's the university home of the Pheasants Forever chapter.
Oh, so, there you go.
Hey, I'm a big outdoorsman. I love conservation, so I'm all about the Jackrabbits. Great agricultural school, all the things that matter to us out here.
Great football school.
Yes,
You're probably a little torn when you saw that going up against them. You're like, well, that's the kind of school I'd want to root for in this situation.
It is a fun underdog, but not in this spot. No. Not in this spot. You also have, let's see here, on the other side of the bracket, some big players, some big names, Arizona State and Ole Miss. They have had their woes throughout the season. It didn't even look like either of these teams at certain points were going to make the tournament. So I think if you're Nebraska hosting a regional, this is about as good as it can get for you.
Yeah, this worked out great. It's almost as if they got to choose who they were going to pick to come to Lincoln. Obviously, Nebraska favored to get through this round. It does get much tougher after that, obviously, at the Supers. But what a first weekend, get to host and, see if we can make a run.
You're also going to get some national money here as a Nebraska bettor, where Ole Miss is a known commodity, especially in baseball and what they did in the College World Series a couple seasons ago. Arizona State, it's tough to think of the history of the CWS in college baseball without thinking of Arizona State somewhere in that mix, somewhere in that picture. So I think you're going to see an influx of money going in on those two teams. Whoever prevails and plays Nebraska, I think you're going to see a great value bet for Nebraska. Everyone knows that it's at home, but the prevailing narrative, the national narrative, it's the Big Ten, it's an SEC school, it's a name brand like Arizona State, that is still going to fudge the line away from what I think is clearly a favorite in Nebraska. So I'm going heavy on the Big Red here.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, and I actually would argue against any of this Big Ten hate in baseball. UCLA has just been so special.
Oh my gosh.
This year, and Nebraska's had to go toe-to-toe with them all season long as well. And hopefully we'll do it again, once we get to Omaha. But this Big Ten is very, very good at baseball when we get to that top level, and that's who we're going to see playing this weekend. But But when you were talking about that, not just that money coming through, but what about the talent on the field? Ole Miss is with the last handful of years has won a national championship, has won in Omaha.
Yes.
Does some of that been there, done that, kind of like we've played at high level, we've made runs before?
Right.
Does any of that matter when they're the underdog coming in here?
Of course it does. And then I'm also hearing a lot about, you're hosting, you're at home. It's the first time in a long time since 2008.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of pressure on you. I just think the talent level of Nebraska can overplay that, override that. And I'm also looking at just Ole Miss. They weren't the juggernaut that they were a couple of years ago when they went on that run.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Too many things add up here for Nebraska. Like Dylan Carey, just named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He broke a couple of Will Bolt's record. Coach Will Bolt. Records in the process. All-time doubles record at Nebraska. So
what a great record!
Yeah, congratulations to Dylan Carey. Drew Grigo, Big Ten Freshman of the Year, swinging a hot bat all year long. So. These are just a couple of the pinpoints of why I like Nebraska to get out of this regional, make it to a super regional.
I'd like to see the basketball team go speak to the baseball team before the first game.
Yes.
Because this is kind of eerie how similar these two teams are as far as the type of year they're having in conference and then, the expectation heading into postseason. And that's still top of mind with the basketball team success. That would be nice.
Now, I'm going to give you a couple nuggets here, and I want to get your feedback because we're on a little bit of a heater when we're talking college baseball, especially the Huskers. Almost got that futures bet. That was the only one we missed out on, and I still liked it just because of the value it had with Nebraska. If they were to make that to take out UCLA, basically at home at Charles Schwab. Did you see how that game ended, by the way?
I missed that. What happened there?
This is just baseball. This is why every time you go to the park, you're prone to see something you've never seen before. Extra innings, Oregon fighting, clawing, scratching to take down UCLA. UCLA loads the bases in the bottom of the 10th, hit by pitch, walks him home. That's the end of the game. That's the walk-off. Getting hit by pitch.
Walk-off.
I mean, baseball, man.
That's baseball.
That is just crazy baseball. But here's my overall bet here. This is my theme that I think you want to stick to in this Lincoln Regional, and that is betting the over whenever Nebraska is playing. Nebraska has been swinging a hot bat all season long, averaging 7 runs or more per game, batting .312 as a team up and down that lineup. So if you're seeing a total of 9.5, 11.5, I'm thinking, that might be a little too much juice. No, it's not.
No.
Nebraska's going to cover that. You also have teams like Ole Miss and Arizona State. They've come to play. They've got to this point. They're hot. I was throwing a little shade at them earlier. But they're going to put some runs up. Nebraska's pitchers at times have given up some runs. So I absolutely love that over bet.
And I love that you said we're on a heater. You're the one on a heater. You have been 3-4 weeks just on an absolute tear with the Huskers and in college baseball in general. And to be clear, you are talking about the Huskers this weekend taking the over on runs scored.
Obviously, I like the run line. I like the money line. Pro Nebraska, even though it's not going to be great value against South Dakota State. I think they're going to blow them out of the water. I really do. Then the game following, whether it's Arizona State or Ole Miss, I like the overs, whatever that is. 9.5, 10.5 runs, whatever it is, we're going to see that over crushed.
If you had two of those that you would parlay together, what two would you throw together and you would say it's a lock?
Run line, South Dakota State, and the over.
Very nice.
I think that's your lock. And it's a round one, and you're just beating up on a bunny that probably shouldn't be there. Sorry, Brookings.
Sorry, Brookings.
You heard the horn. That means we're up against it. Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is NordVPN. Browse, work, and play online with confidence thanks to their world-class cybersecurity. Shield your online activities, if you have to do that. Hide your virtual location and block everyday internet threats with NordVPN. Receive up to 77% off when using our code, which is WTL, down in the link below. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is WTL.
Welcome to the Score Bet, where betting on game day is made easier with all the promos and player props you need in a seamless and easy-to-use experience. Whether it's home runs, three-pointers, or shots on goal, there's no better place to own the moment. Right now, new players can get their first bet insured up to $1,000 in bonus bets. More action, more rewards, more for you. The Score Bet. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Why does Progressive work so hard for truckers? Because truckers unite the world. They unite kids with their first drum sets and parents with earplugs. But truckers can't do this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive has over 360 heavy truck employees to help truckers stay on time and on track. Quote truck insurance today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
WTL.
Capitalism is the only way, Leslie. It moves our country forward. It's what makes America great. And England okay and France terrible.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
The J.O.
The Laugh With Me podcast. And I saw you just did a little rewind, and you were talking to NBA playoffs and playoffs. The Knicks came up. The Knicks came up last year, and it almost feels like that good juju has propelled itself into this season. They're already in the finals.
Yeah, the Knicks, man, they're an absolute terror.
Yeah.
The episode is it's about how the Knicks on this 10, 11-game win streak, whatever it is, this has happened ever since this Danhausen, this creature from WWE, ever since he uncursed the Knicks with the help of Stephen A. Smith and some human monies. Yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, and we got to talk futures market, right? Yes. And we got to talk predictions. It's kind of been our wheelhouse ever since we decided to get on this train, because we see that, sports betting is there and it's always going to be there. It's fun to go to the book. You can't replace that. Being at a sports book, seeing the game happen, the energy, the vibes. But let's give these prediction markets their due. They're working their way around a lot of state regulations, so they're becoming very popular. And so, hey, we got to go where the people are, and that's prediction markets.
Are they working around them, or are they just kind of putting sunglasses on and looking the other way? What would you say here?
They're working under the jurisdiction of federal regulations. Okay. So however you want to consume that.
There you go. Yeah. Great answer. Yeah.
That is where we're at with prediction markets, whether it's Polymarket, FanDuel Predicts, Call Sheet, they all fall under the guise of just federal regulations subsiding or being able to sidestep those state regulations. So right off the bat here, we're talking Knicks. This is one of the wildest trades, really catching a lot of steam, and it has been for a little while now. And that is the New York Knicks to be bought. Yes, 28% now of all the money on there is thinking the Knicks are going to win the NBA playoffs.
Holy cow. And where's that, other than the excitement of the Knicks being in the finals and tearing through the East, what data shows you they're going to win this whole thing?
People betting yes they will on Polymarket. That is it.
That's the data. Yeah,
that is that.
Because as someone who watches the NBA, the best two teams are currently playing in the West and are still live. So I would certainly think it's wild to think that the Knicks would be the favorite to win it by any means.
And they weren't even the favorites coming out of the East.
Not at all.
And they're still not the favorites. But it's they are just millions and millions of dollars are being poured in on these prediction markets on the Knicks. And hey, I guess there's something to it. They are in the finals.
They are in the finals. I mean, which gives them a 50-50 shot at winning the whole freaking thing. But I don't know. What do you say? I mean, would you put your prediction behind the old Knickerbockers?
No.
Okay.
No, but I like that they're there. I think it's good for the NBA. It's a fun story. But the story of the entire season has been the West.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And now you have just about as an incredible story with the Knicks. They have surged in these prediction markets as well for good reason. They were always at about a 1% to 2% chance of yes money on them winning the championship. Now they're up to 15%.
Oh, my.
So they've actually taken on the biggest jump here from basically a non-factor type of a team at the beginning of the playoffs till now, taking up a whole chunk of 15%. And only a couple games away.
Yeah, I'll say they're close enough. That makes a lot of sense. My favorite storyline with the Knicks through these playoffs has been more of what does Celebrity Row look like courtside versus their opponent. because they have been crushing the celebrity appeal versus whomever they're facing. I mean, just the last 2 games against Cleveland, they did have to go up against Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. But then just this last game, they went up against musician MGK. So the New York Knicks with Timothée Chalamet and company, I mean, they're blowing them away.
Fantastic timing, too, because you don't have the Lake Show. You don't have Showtime on the other side, with all their courtside, because that's almost more interesting than the game has been last couple of seasons for a Lakers game.
And it would be, I know if the Lakers with Luka and LeBron made a run next season, that courtside of the finals, they'd have to roll out Jack Nicholson, kind of like a Weekend at Bernie's situation, right? I mean, it would be bad.
Yeah. So those are just a couple opening prediction market wagers that are catching a lot of action here, and it's just a yes or no type of bet, so you get to clearly see who's going up and who's going down. Knicks going up, Spurs are going up. I know you have a prediction market trade for us as well.
Speaking of our guy Travis Kelce, he just became minority owner of the Cleveland Guardians in Major League Baseball.
No way.
Yes way. He it just came out yesterday that he is now a minority owner. He's got his buddy in QB1, Patrick Mahomes, wishing him congratulations, which we know Patrick is a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals. So now we've got a little teammate and in-division rivalry going on.
It's fun.
Which Kansas City Chief is going to win the World Series first? Is it going to be Travis Kelce's Guardians, who are pretty good?
Yes.
Or Patrick Mahomes' Kansas City Royals?
Hey, and you're talking about it's a talented young team, maybe a couple of years away. It sounds like the foundation is there or being built in Kansas City. There's just so much going on with both of those clubs. Talk about the Guardians. They'll always be the Cleveland Indians to me.
Always.
And is that what Travis Kelce is going to do, is be like, first, we've got to give the people what they want. And whether we're talking these people, those people, everybody wants the Cleveland Indians back. And is he gonna get the Indians back? And then that will have so much steam to it, then they'll have to win the championship.
Well, if you think about it, Travis Kelce, where's he coming from? He's coming from Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
So you could see him wanting to bring back that legacy of Indians to Cleveland and, make some waves with that. I mean, that would certainly get him on the side of the fans, I would think.
And then Mahomes, he's got to juggle like, well, are we going to stay at Kauffman? Are we going to move the stadium over by our new stadium? Are we going to name it Little Arrowhead? Or what are we going to do there? So I kind of like the Guardians. I think the Guardians is the future to take here.
I'm with you there. I completely agree. It's going to be the Guardians that win the World Series first, but the reasoning is different. I would say it's the connection now to Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Because of Mr. Travis Kelce. Her association to always being number one, can't be denied. So I would think.
Yeah. She's not going to put on Guardians gear if that means she's rooting for a loser.
Correct.
She can't do that.
Exactly.
Her brand's too valuable.
That's.
Yeah.
You might think maybe that's why she became a Chiefs fan and started dating Travis Kelce in the first place. She only wants winners.
And this is the beauty of these prediction markets and these trades, not bets, not wagers, these trades. It's just yes or no. So we can have the same trade happening here. You're leaning on it towards a yes more for the Swifties, the Swiftie factor.
Yes.
I'm just thinking of the infrastructure and what's going on there in Kansas City and too many distractions, we'll say.
Okay. I could see that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a lot going on.
We're talking NBA there a little bit, and this is where I also really like prediction markets because worlds kind of collide. Worlds collide in these prediction markets, and it's not too uncommon to see. But we have some big headlines coming out from the U.S. government right now, along with the NBA Finals simultaneously, and I think the two are going to merge in the off season.
Okay.
And this is going to be bigger news. It's going to take the big news and make it even bigger and more fun and more consumable because I think it fell a little flat compared to what Fox News and CNN and the government were hoping. And that is that we just released that there's 4 alien races now on Earth. Okay, and there's the mantises, the grays, the reptilians. They're big and mean looking. And you also have the Nordics. They just look like Nordic people, but really tall. Long blonde hair, pale white, but they're aliens too, I guess. So I think in the offseason, we talked about a little earlier how the NBA and your casual NBA fan kind of lives for the offseason because that's when the headlines happen. That's when the smacks, and more coaches get fired, more players get traded. And then it's almost more fun than the actual season itself. It gets kind of big. What are the playoffs? Like 5 months long, the playoffs?
Minimum 3 months. Yeah. And that's not even a joke. Yeah.
Right. So it's hard to keep your attention, but in the off season, it's happening. It's TMZ. It's hot. It's sexy. It's in our face. I think we're gonna not only get this alien race story brought back to us, but the unpackaging of it's going to be like, okay, we all know, and it's been out in front of us, and you've heard this before too. We're like, the Illuminati, they're right out in front of you. Mm-hmm. Look at a dollar bill, bro.
Yep.
They're telling you what's going on.
All the clues are there.
What's Wemby's nickname?
Oh, he's the alien, right?
He's the alien.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have an ESPN special where he's going to reveal which race of aliens he is, along with some other NBA players that you're not aware of.
Man, so we're gonna get a real life Space Jam.
Yes.
We're gonna get the game.
Exactly. We are.
I couldn't be more excited for that.
And Wemby's gonna say something like, I'm a gray. And everyone's like, no, you're too tall to be a gray. You know, they're only 3 feet tall. And it's just going to be mind-boggling. It's going to be headline news. And then, the government's going to be like, see, this is what we needed. We needed that juice of the NBA offseason to get the story out there.
Can we get like a old school LeBron decision type TV show where
I love that.
Somebody, Wemby makes his announcement.
I'm going to take my talents to the universe of
gray.
This is not two. Whatever.
Man, he is alien-like. It just doesn't. I mean, that makes sense.
I think we're going to be shocked. Just look at a guy like Harden, James Harden. Be like, well, now it makes sense. That's why he's like, okay, he's an alien. Wouldn't have guessed him to be a Nordic, but that's okay. All right, this is fun.
Wouldn't have guessed him to be a Nordic. Yeah.
I think we might have a local alien too in the NBA.
Really?
And I think I saw proof of it. Just like talking about the Illuminati, they're hiding in plain sight.
Uh-huh.
I broadcasted a number of Baylor Shireman's high school basketball games, live broadcasts. And the very last game that I got to call of his was at the state tournament. And the Aurora Huskies were way out in front there, blowing this team out. Don't have to run them through the mud or anything. But it was at the point of the game, late in the fourth quarter, where the coach was substituting the starters out.
Sure.
And Baylor saw what was happening, and he was at the foul line. Okay, that's a horn, but we got to finish the story. He's at the foul line. He sees what's going on. Coach is substituting the starters out, and he still has a free throw to shoot. He closes his eyes, shoots the free throw with his eyes shut, and swishes it. Wow. Nothing but net. And our replay guy, the guy in the truck, goes, he just shot that free throw with his eyes closed. I know he did. And then we followed him, and he went over to his coach and said, you know what I just did? And we could lip read him. And he goes, you did? Oh, Bailey. He's like, yeah, I did. And he did. We played the replay. It was amazing. So he's got to be like one of these telepathic type of aliens, like a mantis that can he can see with his eyes closed because he can visualize. So I think we might actually have a local twist on this NBA alien reveal.
Well, that's breaking news. And it's a lot like a lizard, being able to, have these senses even without, being able to see or having the eyes closed.
Maybe he's a reptilian. The reptilians are the tallest.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
He would probably fit right in with the reptilian. But holy cow, breaking news, I think, to say Baylor Shireman's an alien.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to wait for this trade to happen.
Okay.
And the NBA and the United States government to just come together and give us what we want.
It's going to be a fun summer.
I think so. I think we are giving the NBA some juice here. I really do. And some fun topics for our government. To maybe we're just saving the day all over the place here.
Saving the day.
For the J.O. Manny Klassen, thank you for listening. This has been WTL.
Welcome to the Score Bet, where betting on game day is made easier with all the promos and player props you need in a seamless and easy-to-use experience. Whether it's home runs, three-pointers, or shots on goal, there's no better place to own the moment. Right now, new players can get their first bet insured up to $1,000 in bonus bets. More action, more rewards, more for you. The Score Bet. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Catch the NBA playoffs on Sling TV, the most flexible live TV streaming service, putting consumers in control to watch games their way with flexible subscriptions. Want to catch one game or a full series on ESPN? Grab a 1, 3, or 7-day pass. If you want to catch as many games as possible, get a monthly subscription with our ABC, NBC, and ESPN combo package. Either way, Sling lets you watch the playoffs your way with no long-term contracts. Learn more at sling.com.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Hotcakes, sausage patty, hash browns, scrambled eggs, biscuit, real butter and syrup. You know how our big breakfast got its name, and you know where your whole family can share one for just $6. McDonald's. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.